Michael Carter stood at the panoramic windows of his luxury penthouse, the city's glittering skyline reflecting in his thoughtful gaze. At 38, he was the epitome of success, an unstoppable force who had risen from humble beginnings in a struggling neighborhood to owning a thriving restaurant empire. Every step of his journey was fueled by resilience, grit, and a belief that circumstances didn't define destiny. Yet, his latest acquisition, Gourmet Haven, was proving to be his toughest challenge. Nestled in an affluent part of town, the upscale restaurant boasted a reputation for exceptional cuisine, but had recently been plagued by complaints about poor service and unprofessional staff. Michael had a mantra: problems are best solved when faced head-on. So he decided to visit Gourmet Haven undercover, posing as an ordinary customer to see the issues firsthand. Friday evenings at Gourmet Haven were a flurry of activity. The soft hum of conversations mingled with the clinking of silverware as diners filled every table. Sarah Blake, a waitress in her late 20s, wove through the crowd, expertly balancing trays laden with dishes. But tonight, her usual sharpness was dulled by the weight of her struggles. After losing both parents unexpectedly, Sarah had become the sole guardian of her younger sister. Every paycheck went toward rent, bills, and keeping food on the table. The stress had taken its toll, and her patience was wearing thin. "Table 14 needs water, Sarah," her colleague whispered as they passed each other. "I'll get to it," she snapped, irritation bleeding into her tone. As Sarah moved between tables, Michael entered the restaurant. Dressed in a casual shirt and jeans, he didn't quite fit the profile of Gourmet Haven's usual clientele. Amanda, the cheerful hostess, greeted him warmly and led him to a quiet corner table. "Your server will be right with you," she said with a smile. Michael settled into his seat, his trained eyes scanning the restaurant. He noted the polished decor and the impressive dishes being served, but his focus was on the staff and their interactions. After several minutes, Sarah arrived at his table. Her face carried a strained expression, and her voice lacked warmth. "Ready to order?" she asked curtly. "Not quite," Michael replied politely. "Could I start with a glass of water?" She nodded absently and walked away. Minutes turned into 10, then 15. Michael patiently watched as Sarah attended other tables, laughing and chatting with diners who appeared more affluent. Yet, his table remained untouched. When she passed by again, he raised his hand. "Excuse me, about that water?" Her eyes flashed with impatience. "I'll get it when I can," she said flatly, walking off without another word. Michael kept his composure, but the disparity in service was glaring. Finally, as another waiter delivered water to a nearby table, Michael called out to Sarah again. "Ma'am, I'd appreciate it if I could get some water soon." This seemed to strike a nerve. She slammed her tray onto a nearby counter and marched over, her voice rising enough to draw the attention of nearby diners. "What's your problem?" she demanded, crossing her arms. Michael met her glare calmly. "I don't have a problem. I've simply been waiting for water." Her response was sharp and cutting. "You people are always so demanding, acting like you own the place." A hush fell over the room. Diners exchanged uneasy glances, and the air grew thick with tension. "What do you mean by you people?" Michael asked, his tone firm but measured. Before he could get an answer, Sarah did the unthinkable. She shoved the tray off the counter, sending glasses crashing to the floor. Gasps echoed through the restaurant. The manager, Richard, rushed over, his face pale with alarm. "What's going on here?" Sarah pointed a trembling finger at Michael. "He's been harassing me." Richard turned to Michael, who stood calmly and handed over a sleek black business card. "I'm Michael Carter, the new owner of Gourmet Haven," he said evenly. "I came here tonight to evaluate the service, and I think this speaks for itself." The color drained from Richard's face. Sarah's expression froze in shock. You're the owner?" she stammered. "Yes," Michael said firmly. "And no one, customer, owner, or otherwise, should ever be treated like this." Michael addressed the diners, his voice calm yet apologetic. "Ladies and gentlemen, I deeply regret this incident. It does not reflect the values we uphold at Gourmet Haven. I assure you, changes will be made to ensure this never happens again." He then gestured for Sarah and Richard to join him in the back office. Behind closed doors, Michael addressed Sarah. "Do you understand the gravity of your actions?" Tears welled in her eyes as she nodded. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know who you were." "That's precisely the issue," Michael replied. "Respect shouldn't depend on who someone is or how they look. Your behavior tonight was unacceptable." Despite her actions, Michael believed in second chances. Sarah was suspended and required to complete extensive customer service and diversity training. Counseling was also arranged to help her manage the stress that had fueled her outburst. Months later, Sarah returned to Gourmet Haven, a changed woman. The training and counseling had helped her confront her biases and channel her emotions constructively. Under Michael's leadership, Gourmet Haven transformed into a beacon of excellence, celebrated for both its cuisine and its commitment to inclusivity and respect. For Michael, the incident served as a powerful reminder of the importance of strong leadership and second chances. And for Sarah, it became a turning point, a chance to rebuild not just her career, but also her perspective on life. Would you have handled the situation like Michael? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the power of second chances, respect, and transformation.